Welcome to JDeez TidzBitz, presented by the Sports Nuts, Gamecock edition. Man, this is so difficult to do on your phone sometimes. But hey, it don't matter. I adjust. I do what I need to do to get through. It is your man, JD. Like I said, JDeez TidzBitz, presented by the Sports Nuts. Thank you so much for being here. Man, I've got some great questions coming up for you guys. But before I do all that, let me shout out anybody that's listening right now. Mark, Jay Frew, Trey, Brandon Keeler, who makes all this possible for us. Thank you so much, Brandon. At Shane Owen, at Matt Thomas, Mr. Springs, none other than Mr. Springs. But hey, we appreciate y'all being here. Man, this hat kind of looks crooked, doesn't it? But hey, I had to bring you a little Gamecock style of JDeez TidzBitz. Y'all make sure to stay tuned in. Before I go any further, let me shout out Tequila's Grill. We will be there live next Friday, July the 19th, for a live episode with everybody there, all of the Sports Nuts. We might even see Kelly Bryant. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the Clemson folks down there. Hey, Clemson folks, y'all might feel a little left out this evening, and I apologize for that. But this is a Gamecock episode. We got your Clemson episode coming next week. Don't fret. It's coming up next week. But, hey, shout out to Tequila's Grill, though. Let me drop you their phone number real quick. 864-307-8028. They got a great salsa bar. They have great, authentic Mexican food. We look forward to seeing you guys there next Friday. And look, we're going to have the whole crew there. My boys will be there. Kara will be there. Uncle Poops, Springs, Brandon, we're all going to be there. All right? And so, man, I'm telling you what, it's going to be a great time over the next couple of weeks. We've got some great guests coming. But I promised you guys Gamecock football content, man. Hey, for just a minute there, don't tell nobody, but I kind of forgot. I kind of forgot what I even come to talk about there for a minute. I was about to just ramble on, which I could also do about Gamecock football and the expectations and what we expect out of them, what we expect out of Lenore Sellers, the offensive line, the run game. And so, yeah, hey, I almost forgot, but don't worry. JD's always got you covered right here with the Sports Nuts, as we all do. So without further ado, let me present to you my first question for Gamecock fans. Does it, hey, listen, guys, look up and down the schedule and be realistic, all right? Be realistic. You could almost call me a pessimist when it comes to being a Gamecock fan, because I've learned over the years the games that I expect us to win, we don't. And if we do, man, we struggle to do it. I mean, think back a la App State. What was it, 2017? Beat us at home. Helinski almost won it for us. Think back a la 2015, the Citadel, when Sean Elliott was the interim head coach. And so I'm going to tie this all in a nice little bow for you. So does it matter to you guys, though, what the losses look like if we end up being 4-8 at the end of the year? Because to me, it does. Like, y'all heard me on here before. I called for Mark Kingston. He had 7 years to get it together, and he couldn't. And I don't want South Carolina football to become Florida football here over the recent years. Man, they have absolutely ruined the Florida football program. And hey, shout out Mark Ryan. I'll tag you in this one. And I'm sure that Florida fans can't disagree with this. I really can't. Florida fans cannot tell me that their program is what it was 8 to 10 years ago, or even, Urban Meyer's years. They have gone through, let me just start naming a couple. So they're Billy Napier right now, Dan Mullen, Jim McElwain, Will Muschamp. I'm pretty sure there was probably somebody in between that. And so the thing with the Gamecocks, though, is, listen, we got to be patient with Beamer. We got to, and so to me, don't get me wrong, JD will absolutely pull out his gasoline and his matches if we're getting blown out week to week this year and end up 3-9. Because, there's even some people right now, even the EA Sports game right now is projecting us at 1-6. That's been a viral video all over the internet. Got us losing to Old Dominion week 1. And so that brings me to my week 2 matchup, though, with Kentucky. Man, I'm telling you what, it feels like Kentucky and South Carolina have become what South Carolina and Georgia used to be a long time ago. When they started out second week of the season, man, Georgia's obviously always had our number. But there was that time during the Steve Spurrier era where Steve Spurrier got it going, man. And we were smoking Georgia. I remember one game, 2011, 2012, South Carolina and Georgia. We were up 17-0, like 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Steve Spurrier came out and smoked Georgia. But it took Steve Spurrier a minute to get there. And he was a great coach. So that's when I don't want to fall into the Florida mindset where they're firing people every 2 years. They can't gain any continuity. You have got to give Shane Beamer a little bit of time. And now, don't get me wrong. Depending on what this looks like, I will call for Beamer's job just like I did for Kingston's. But to me, it's all about what it looks like. And so speaking of what it looks like, let's talk about that for a moment. On the offense, listen, I'm tired of hearing about the offensive line. So I'm not even going to talk about it. The offensive line has been said to be improved for, 12 years in a row. And it ain't never got better. So at this point, okay, done with the offensive line. But I will look to Lenore Sellers. A great running quarterback can make a bad offensive line look good. Can anybody tell me if I'm wrong on that one? And we saw it in the spring game. There were no routes ran more than 20 yards because obviously they knew they couldn't touch the quarterback. And so speaking of touching the quarterback, here's the one thing we got to be careful about. The more that quarterback is outside the pocket, the more tackles, the more hits he takes. And then sometimes as a young quarterback, that might get in his head. So Gamecocks, my next question to you, though, and heaven forbid, God forbid, Lenore Sellers get hurt. But he is going to be running. And, hey, it's a miracle Spencer Rattler didn't get murdered last year. You all know this. Like, are you kidding me? It's a miracle Spencer Rattler didn't get murdered last year. And so what really worries me, though, is Lenore Sellers, depending on how the offensive line plays and his obviously great escapability, if he runs the ball for 10 to 12 times a game, he better house it. Because I don't want him taking those hits. But the good thing is we do have Robbie Ashford sitting right behind him that has the same statistics and qualities. Like the QB fits the system. And oh gosh, my goodness, I'm already at 10 minutes. Y'all, I could talk about Gamecock football all day. Let me get to the defensive side real quick and let me get out of here. Clayton White saved his job last year. All right. Yeah, JD can go rapid fire on you real quick. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to listen. JD JDeez TidzBitz. We keep it short and sweet. My bad. I went a little long on the offense. Let me close it up real quick though. Man, on the defensive side, nobody's talking about it. We got Eamon Worry coming back. We got DQ Smith. We got Jalen Kilgore, and we've got Kilgore's brother. We have some great defensive tackles. Tonka Hemingway, Alex Huntley coming back. We're a little thin at linebacker, but I'm telling you what. So my expectations for the year, let me close this out real quick. If the Gamecocks can average, let's see here what I say. If the Gamecocks can average 380 to 400 yards of offense each game, and they can somehow have an improved defense that only allows 330 to 350 yards a game, that should put you in very well one win or one score situations. So that to me, y'all, is the big deal. If South Carolina ends up 4-8 and we lost 4 games by an average of, let's say, 3.5, 4 points, I'm going to be all right with it. I'm not going to be ready to throw my gasoline and my matches at Shane Beamer just yet. It took Steve Spurrier a minute to get this thing going. But my thing, though, is going to be on defense. We're a little thin at linebacker. And then, obviously, our other big thing is at wide receiver, which we did get a few big guys here in the transfer portal recently. So, I don't know, y'all. I'm sorry if I've missed any of your comments. I see 16 people watching. Thank you so much. Please, give me some thoughts on what I've said. Tell me what you want to know. We will talk about it. And I appreciate you being here. Don't forget, though, man, we are loaded up. Big guest. We'll be live tomorrow evening, Friday, 7:30. Saturday, we got the sports shorts with Shane O and myself. And then, we got Jake Crane, one of the best college guys. You can ask him any questions you want. Start submitting them now. I've got a fantasy football league coming up. Submit me your email address, and you will be in the league. Period. End of discussion. And then, what? Oh, yeah, we K Ford, which is a numbers guy. He might confuse you a little bit, but man, it's great stuff to hear. We have tons. Oh, and we got people on the ground. Clemson Media Days, Clemson fans, don't worry. Your stuff's coming up next week. It's a Gamecock episode tonight, but next week we have Clemson. We have somebody with boots on the ground at Dabo's Media Day. Thank you. I've been so excited to do this all day. I've went way too long. I am way over my time. Y'all be blessed. Be kind. All right? Be kind. Be blessed. And don't be stressed. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.